Hook, what if I told you a soap opera twist could mirror real-life power plays, and it all starts in a Belfast-bound lifeline and a coffee shop corner store? Today we're diving into Coronation Street's next week's spoilers, but not as a recap, as a lens on how TV story engines work, and what it says about trust, control, and the price of silence. I'm your narrator for today's breakdown, and I want to stress right away, this isn't just about who did what to whom. It's about why writers plant fear in ordinary settings and how audiences read danger in everyday moments. Personally, I think the show constantly tests how far a single whispered truth can bend a character's choices, and that's exactly what we're unpacking. We begin with the Theo Todd arc. The family starts sensing something serious might be happening behind the shop front doors, and George Shuttleworth clearly fears Todd is being harmed. What makes this really interesting is how the decision to investigate sits at the intersection of care and skepticism. In my opinion, the drama comes not from the accusation itself but from how people react when confronted with the possibility of abuse. When Sarah articulates concerns and Gary overhears, the show shifts from private fear to public action. From my perspective, this moment dramatizes a central TV truth. Truth is often a process, not a moment, and trust has to be earned in real time through actions, not just confessions. One thing that immediately stands out is the way Todd responds. He defends Theo, which signals complexity. Sometimes people close to the accused have intimate blind spots, or they're protecting someone they care about to the point of rationalizing bad behavior. What many people don't realize is that defense isn't denial in a vacuum. It can be a survival tactic, a way to preserve a fragile personal narrative in the face of pressure. If you take a step back and think about it, this is less about taking sides and more about how relationships insulate us from uncomfortable truths until a critical mass of evidence breaks through. Gary's pivot is the moment to watch. Initially doubtful, he shifts toward action after a cascade of concerns. In my opinion, that turn matters because it mirrors real-life escalation. A single conscience can escalate into intervention when enough people weigh in with concerns that feel credible. From my perspective, the cord that ties all of this together is responsibility: who steps up, who hesitates, and how those decisions ripple outward to affect Theo, Todd, and the entire corner shop ecosystem. A detail I find fascinating is the moment Theo discovers Todd's impending departure and tries to steer the ship back to Belfast. It's a reminder that control tries to persist even when the truth becomes clearer, an ongoing pattern in high-stakes storytelling that keeps viewers looping back for the next chapter. Moving to the Ben Driscoll and Maggie storyline, we see a different flavor of fragility, a family under strain, with Megan looming large as the source of fear, and Will caught in the middle. This is where the show leans into moral gray areas. What this really suggests is that the question isn't simply who's right or wrong, but how consequences ripple when someone is protected by silence, even if the intent is to shield a loved one. What people misunderstand is that protection isn't inherently noble if it means ignoring harm. In my view, the plant here is the idea that abuse isn't a one-off event, it's a pattern people end up normalizing until someone pushes back hard enough to break the cycle. That's why Ben's pushback and Maggie's confrontations matter. They signal potential shifts in family dynamics that could redefine loyalties going forward. There's a parallel thread with Will's narrative and Tim's past. Sally opens a window into grooming experiences that echo Will's present abuse. This is a deliberate echo. Writers want to show how trauma can repeat across generations and be reframed as normal unless someone names it. What this really highlights is how generations carry and reinterpret harm, and how adult allies, like Ben, can catalyze a reckoning. If you're watching closely, Tim's reluctance to face old wounds mirrors a broader societal pattern. Pain is often hidden behind routine, and truth-telling requires courage that not everyone has in the moment. Then we swing to Bethany Platt's network of trust with Jodie Ramsey. Here the tension is about vetting and intention. Trust can be earned in small, human moments, but it's fragile and easily tested. A deeper pattern surfaces, online connections, real-world danger, and the complexity of understanding someone's past. From my vantage, this illustrates how social dynamics in a soap opera can model real-world dating anxieties, especially for younger characters who are still learning to read people's true colors. And let's not forget Debbie Webster's legal drama arc. A positive update on her appeal is a hopeful counterpoint to the dark stories elsewhere. The show uses resilience as a thread that threads through a sea of turmoil. What this implies is that justice, while imperfect, remains a driving force for many viewers who invest in outcomes that feel fair, even when the road there is messy and emotionally exhausting. Deeper insight, these spoilers reveal how Coronation Street uses microactions to build macro-truths about power, accountability, and accountability's absence. The recurring motif is the moment a character realizes they're not alone in their fear, or when a lie unravels because someone listened. If we zoom out, the pattern aligns with a broader trend in long-running dramas. The slow-burn accumulation of emotional evidence creates a fabric of inevitability. Viewers sense the storm before the thunder hits, and the payoff relies on earned, patient storytelling rather than quick reveals. Closing thought, the week ahead is less about what happens next in a single scene and more about who chooses to act when fear is loudest. Will Todd leave Weatherfield? Can Theo's grip be loosened by community action and honest confrontation? These questions echo real life, courage compounds, silence corrodes, and the most compelling stories are those where a single choice reshapes a life path. Before you go, drop a comment with which character arc you think will crack first and why. Do you think the show will pull a Belfast twist, or will the truth emerge in Weatherfield's familiar streets? Whatever your guess, I'm here for the discussion.